I wasn't supposed to survive the crash. The impact tore through my ship like paper, fire licking at the hull as the emergency pods launched me into the thick amber skies of an unknown planet. When I woke up, my visor was cracked, my oxygen low and my heartbeat echoing in my helmet like a drum of panic. Then, the ground trembled. I froze. Another tremor. Not an earthquake, footsteps. Heavy, deliberate, impossibly loud. The dust around me rippled with every impact. I squinted through the smoke, my suit's sensors flickering with static, and that's when I saw it. A shadow moving across the valley floor, massive, humanoid. She stepped out of the haze. A woman? No, a giantess. Her skin shimmered like bronze under the twin suns, hair cascading down like a river of fire, eyes so large and luminous they seemed to swallow the sky itself. She looked at me, her expression shifting between curiosity and hunger. I stumbled backward, my boots sinking into the alien soil. "Hello?" I managed, my voice trembling through the comms, her lips curved. A smirk. She crouched and the earth cracked beneath her knees. Her voice rolled through the air like thunder. "A man, a real one. We haven't seen your kind in ages." Before I could move, her hand, large enough to crush a vehicle, swept down and caught me. I was lifted off the ground, staring into a face that could have been sculpted by gods. If gods were cruel enough to make something so beautiful and so terrifying. More shadows appeared behind her. 3, 4, 5 enormous women, each with different features, colors, and expressions. Some laughing, some whispering. Their language echoed through my helmet, a hypnotic hum I could almost understand. The tallest of them leaned closer, her silver eyes reflecting my terrified face. "You're lucky, little traveler," she said. "Some of us eat men. The rest of us play with them first." My stomach dropped. Their laughter rolled through the valley like a storm. I didn't know what was worse, their beauty or the madness glinting behind their smiles. I struggled against her grip, but her fingers closed gently, possessively, around me. My suit alarm screamed as oxygen leaked. I could feel the heat of her skin through the metal. "Don't be afraid," the first one whispered. "We can teach you how to survive here, if you please us." And just as the world faded into black, her voice echoed inside my mind, directly into my mind. "You belong to us now, little starman." My vision blurred. The last thing I saw was her colossal face descending, her lips forming a word that shook the air itself. My name. If you want to know what happened when I woke up among them, what they really wanted from me, then stay with me. I woke up in a field that looked like it had been painted by an alien god. Massive flowers taller than skyscrapers, their petals glowing softly with internal light. The air shimmered with golden dust and the scent. It was intoxicating, sweet and strange, like a mixture of honey and electricity. I tried to sit up, but my body felt light. Too light. My helmet was gone. My suit was open. Someone had removed it. Panic surged through me, but before I could move, a voice spoke. "Don't strain yourself, little one. Your body needs to adjust to our atmosphere." I turned, and there she was, the red-haired giantess who had caught me before the crash. She was reclining among enormous flowers, her bare shoulders glimmering with drops of morning dew the size of my fists. Her eyes, golden and calm now, studied me with the curiosity of a scientist examining an insect, or a goddess inspecting her creation. "Where am I?" I asked. My voice came out small, trembling. She smiled. "You're in Varela, the Garden of Titans." I glanced around, trying to understand the scale. What I thought were trees were actually enormous vines wrapping around spires of crystal. Rivers of blue light flowed through the valley. Everything pulsed as if alive, connected by some invisible rhythm. Then I saw the others. The other women. They were walking among the glowing pools, laughing, their bodies half covered by strange fabrics that shimmered like liquid glass. They were all different. One with silver skin and translucent hair that caught the sunlight like a prism. Another with markings across her face that looked alive, shifting slightly when she moved. Each of them was enormous, at least 60 feet tall. But what scared me most wasn't their size. It was the way they looked at me, like I was something sacred, or something they'd been waiting for. The red-haired one reached for me, her finger brushing against my arm. A shiver ran through me. It wasn't just touch. It was energy. I could feel her emotions, curiosity, desire, control, flooding into my mind. You don't belong here," she said softly. "Yet you arrived. That means the prophecy was true." I blinked. "Prophecy?" She leaned closer, her breath warm against me, smelling of something wild and electric. That a man would fall from the stars. That his blood would awaken the sleepers and change everything. I swallowed hard. "I'm just a pilot. My ship crashed. I'm not—" "No," she interrupted. "You are something more. I can feel it." Before I could answer, another voice cut through the garden, sharper, colder. "Lir Essa." A tall figure approached, with skin the color of moonlight and eyes that burned violet. Her expression was not welcoming. "You broke the law," she hissed. "No man is to be kept alive." The red-haired one, Lir Essa, rose to her full height, blocking the newcomer's path. The air vibrated with tension, their energy colliding. "He's mine," Lir Essa said, "and I won't let the council touch him." The silver-eyed giantess raised her hand and the world around me darkened. I could feel their powers colliding, unseen waves shaking the air. My body tingled, my vision flickered. Then silence. I was lifted again, but this time not by hands, by light, floating weightless between two gods about to wage war over me. If you think that was terrifying, wait until you see what happened next, when they discovered what my blood could actually do. Light. That's all I could see. Waves of blinding, living light that pulsed through me like a heartbeat. My body felt suspended between worlds, caught in the invisible storm raging between Lir Essa and the silver-eyed titan. When it ended, I fell. Not far, just a few feet, landing on a soft, moss-like surface that glowed faintly beneath me. The air buzzed. My veins burned with a strange warmth. I looked down and saw faint blue lines tracing under my skin, pulsing in rhythm with the luminous vines around me. Lir Essa rushed to me, her face tense but strangely relieved. "You're changing," she whispered. "The light of the world is answering to your blood." I stared at my hands. The glow was spreading. What's happening to me? The silver-eyed one, the enforcer, lowered her massive spear and studied me with a look that wasn't hatred anymore. It was fear. "He carries the spark, the same power that built this planet before it fell asleep." The ground trembled beneath us. From somewhere deep below, I heard a sound. Not mechanical, not natural. It was like a heartbeat echoing through stone. Every pulse made the air shimmer, and distant towers of crystal began to light up one by one across the horizon. "You've awakened them," Lir Essa said. "The sleepers." Suddenly, shapes rose in the distance, massive silhouettes of ancient machines buried beneath the surface, half living, half mechanical. Their eyes ignited with the same blue light running through my veins. I could feel them. Their thoughts, their memories, fragments of an ancient civilization that had created the Titans themselves. And they were calling to me. I clutched my chest as the vision struck. Endless cities made of light, floating above oceans of glass, beings of energy teaching the Titans the art of creation. And then the fall, a catastrophic war that shattered their world. I gasped. "They weren't born here," I said. "They were made." Lir Essa nodded slowly, her golden eyes reflecting the awakening world. "We were meant to guard the flame. But it went dark. Until you came." The silver-eyed enforcer turned to her, her voice heavy with awe. "If the prophecy is true, then his coming means the Titan's second dawn, or our final extinction." The wind began to howl, carrying with it a distant roar. From beyond the hills, a dark shape moved, taller than any of them, wrapped in black mist. Lir Essa's expression hardened. "The others will come for you now," she said. "The ones who never forgave the old gods." She lifted me carefully, placing me inside a crystal chamber that formed in her palm like a protective cocoon. "You have to trust me, little one. You must survive long enough to finish what your kind started." Lightning split the sky. The dark figure roared again, and closer this time. I looked up at her, my pulse racing with both terror and something deeper. The sense that the fate of this entire planet was somehow tied to me. If you thought surviving among the Titans was impossible, wait until you see what's buried beneath their world. The storm didn't fall from the sky. It rose from the ground. The air around us exploded with energy as dark clouds swirled in reverse, drawn upward into a vortex of black lightning. Lyressa clutched me tightly, her hand trembling for the first time since I'd met her. "They've awakened faster than I feared," she murmured. "The Forsaken are coming." The silver-eyed enforcer extended her spear, its tip humming with light. "Then we must reach the core before they do." The landscape shifted as they moved, the giantesses striding across the valley, their steps igniting the soil beneath them. From above, it must have looked like gods walking through a living storm. I could only see flashes, titanic silhouettes, rivers of light, and mountains collapsing in their wake. Lyressa's voice echoed in my mind, calm but urgent. "You feel it, don't you? The connection? The pulse beneath the surface." She was right. I could feel it, like a magnetic pull deep below. Something buried there was calling to me. Every beat of my heart matched the rhythm of the planet itself. The ground split open ahead. Beneath the fissure I saw a glow, vast, circular, mechanical. A door, a gate to the tomb of the Makers. Lyressa and the Enforcer exchanged a single look. Without words, they jumped. The descent felt endless. We passed through layers of crystal and glowing mist, until the light around us shifted from gold to cold blue. Then silence. We landed in a colossal chamber, larger than cities, filled with statues that looked almost human, but with eyes like stars. The air shimmered with power. I stepped out of the crystal cocoon. For the first time, gravity felt normal. The floor beneath me pulsed like circuitry. I placed my hand on it, and the entire chamber responded. The statues turned their heads toward me. One by one, their eyes lit up. "He's activating them," Lyressa whispered. "He's linked to the core." The silver-eyed one's voice shook slightly. "No, he is the core's heir." A deep, resonant voice filled the chamber, not from one of them, but from everywhere. Identity confirmed, stellar genome recognized, initiating Protocol Dawn. Light erupted. The walls unfolded like petals, revealing a sky full of stars. Not the real sky, but a simulation, a memory of their lost universe. I saw planets, cities, battles, and then the truth. Humanity had been here before. My voice trembled. "And we created you." Lyressa looked down at me, her expression unreadable. "Then why did you abandon us?" Before I could answer, a shockwave hit the chamber. The sky simulation shattered. From the fissures above, shadows poured in. Colossal forms cloaked in mist, their eyes burning red. The Forsaken had arrived. Their leader's voice thundered across the ruins. "The light must remain dead. The Starborn shall not rise again." Lyressa placed me back inside the protective chamber and turned, her eyes glowing fiercely. "Stay inside. Whatever happens, don't let the core take control." But it was too late. I could feel it awakening inside me, rewriting my pulse, my breath, my thoughts. The blue glow in my veins blazed brighter until the entire chamber pulsed with it, and then I heard 1,000 voices whispering my name. The core wasn't just awakening. It was becoming me. If you think that was the end of my journey, and you're wrong. What happened next changed not just me, but the fate of every living being on that planet. The chamber cracked open like an egg of light, and everything, and sound, color, gravity, folded into a single moment of absolute stillness. The Titans froze mid-motion, the Forsaken halted mid-roar, and I stood at the center of it all, suspended between what I was and what I was becoming. Inside me, the core's voice was no longer mechanical. It sounded human, like hundreds of echoes of myself speaking from different timelines. You are the bridge between the lost and the living. Choose what world will rise from the ashes. Around me I saw both armies waiting. Lyressa, battered but unbroken, stared down at me with eyes full of defiance. Behind her, the silver-eyed enforcer bled light from a wound across her chest, her spear still raised. The Forsaken loomed. On the opposite side, titanic shadows, their bodies made of dark energy, burning with the memory of a betrayal that had lasted millennia. The truth unfolded inside my mind like a map. The makers, humans, had once built this world as a living experiment, merging technology with sentient creation. But when they vanished, the Titans inherited their power without guidance. The key, Forsaken, had been their protectors, turned monstrous by centuries of rage, and now both factions wanted me to decide who deserved to survive. I took a breath and felt the pulse of the core align with my heart. The chamber walls turned transparent, showing the surface of Virella above, the skies splitting, the great flowers wilting, rivers of blue light dimming. The planet was dying, waiting for a signal. I can end this, I said softly, but I won't choose destruction. Lyressa stepped closer, kneeling so that her gaze met mine on equal ground. Then what will you do, little starman? I reached out my hand, letting the blue glow expand outward. The energy connected to everything, the vines, the statues, the Titans, even the Forsaken. For a heartbeat, every living being on Virella shared the same pulse, the same memory. You were never meant to rule or serve, I said. You were meant to remember. The core responded. A beam of light erupted from the center of the planet, piercing the clouds. The black storm dissolved, replaced by streaks of silver and gold. The Forsaken's bodies unraveled into particles of light, their rage fading into peace. The Titans fell to their knees, not in worship, but in understanding. The world began to heal. Flowers rose again, brighter than before. The rivers glowed. The heartbeat of Virella steadied. Lyressa smiled, a tired, beautiful smile. You've done what none of the makers could. You gave us balance. I felt myself fading, my body turning into the same blue energy that had awakened the core. Maybe that's what we were always meant to be. Not gods, not rulers, just a spark. Will we ever see you again, she asked, her voice soft now, almost human. I smiled. Every sunrise, every heartbeat, that's me now. Light consumed everything. When the silence returned, the world was whole again. The Titans stood beneath twin suns, their eyes reflecting the glow of a star reborn. A world no longer waiting for gods, but alive with its own light. And somewhere in the heart of that light, my voice whispered through the wind, remember me, Lyressa. I was never your prisoner. I was your beginning. If you enjoyed this cosmic journey, stay close, because every world has another secret buried just beneath its stars.